Today we are going to start working on how to diagram sentences. But we have to remember that a diagram arranges the parts of the sentence like a picture in order to show the relationship of words and groups of words within the sentence. Diagramming sentences might seem complicated at first, but you will quickly get the hang out of it. Sentences diagramming enables you to visually understand the function of every part of a sentence, which help you construct better sentences. Once you understand the essentials, diagramming a sentence can be like completing a crossword puzzle. In the following sentences, you can practice how to diagram sentences, from simple sentence to more complicated sentences. Diagramming sentences. Write two sentences on your own which contain a subject, a verb, one adjective, and one adverb, direct object, prepositional phrase. Then diagram those sentences. Backwards diagrams. Share diagrams with partners. Can you tell what the original sentence was? Try backwards diagramming. There are some new steps for diagramming sentences. Predicate nouns and adjectives, indirect objects, compound subjects and verbs, complex sentences. In this slide we will see how to diagram predicate nouns and predicate adjectives. We will learn that predicate nouns and predicate adjectives follow the verb and are separated from the verb by a slanted line. For example, in sentence number 1, the glacier is not really dangerous. The subject is diagrammed on the horizontal or the baseline. Glacier goes on the baseline, and the article be that modifies the noun go on a slanted line. Then we separate the subject from the predicate using a vertical line. Then we write the verb, and then we have to draw the slanted line toward the verb. Then we write the subject. Then we have to also to diagram not, which modifies the verb is, and really modifies the adjective dangerous. In sentence number 2 we can see that is almost the same. For example, Michael Thompson is a brilliant professor. Michael Thompson is the subject, is separated from the predicate using a vertical line. Then we draw the line that goes slanted to the verb, and then the adjective, that is professor in this case, or the predicate noun, Then the words a and brilliant modifies professor. They go on slanted line under professor. In this sentence we are going to practice how to diagram indirect objects. Indirect objects are arranged under the main sentence line. For example, Professor Jones gave her students 2 projects. Now we are going to diagram the sentence on the baseline, also called horizontal line. First of all, we diagram the subject, which is Professor Jones, and then we separate the subject from the predicate using a vertical line. Right after the vertical line, we write the verb, which in this case is gave. Then, after the verb, we're going to diagram a vertical line that does not go through the baseline, and then we write the direct object. And also we write under the direct object the words that modify it. In this case, the word to modifies the word projects, which is the indirect object. Then her students modifies the verb. Her students is diagrammed under the verb on a slanted broken line. Students goes on the baseline and her under students, modifying it. Now we're going to work with compound subjects and compound predicates. We have to remember that compound subjects and predicates, the sentence diagram begins to branch out. For example, the sentence, the professor and her colleagues are studying glaciers and flooding. First of all, we use the vertical line to separate the subject from the predicate. Then we have to branch out 2 lines in order to write on the first one one of the subjects. In this case, one of the noun is professor, and it is modified by the article be that goes under professor on the slanted line. Then the other noun is colleagues, and the word her modifies colleagues. Then both nouns are joined by the conjunction and. When we finish working with the subject, we go to the predicate. The main verb of this sentence is are studying. Then it has a compound indirect object. We're going to diagram it on two lines. On the first one we write glaciers, and then on the second one we write flooding, and both of them are joined by the conjunction and. We write the conjunction and on a dotted broken line. Now we're going to study the relationship between clauses in compound and complex sentences is shown with a dotted line. For example, glaciers are powerful forces, but they move very slowly. The first thing we have to do is to diagram sentence number 1. Glaciers are powerful forces is the first sentence. We diagram it in the same way that a simple sentence is diagrammed. Glacier is the subject, then we draw a vertical line to separate the subject from the predicate, then we draw a line slanted toward the subject, and then the word forces, and the word forces is modified by the adjective powerful, and powerful supposed to be diagrammed on slanted line on the forces. Then we have to diagram sentence number 2, which is they move very slowly. This sentence is diagrammed the same way that a simple sentence is diagrammed. They is the subject, we draw the vertical line to separate the subject from the predicate, and then we write move, which is the main verb. Slowly, very slowly modifies move, so we draw a line, slanted line toward the verb move, and we write slowly. And very modifies the adverb slowly, so we write very under slowly.